Okay, so hope you guys are having a good weekend. I told you guys I wanted to show you what a sentiment analysis looks like in using NVivo. Now, if my computer looks different than yours, I'm sorry. I'm on a Mac. And just so you guys do know, like this is my Twitter account. So before you start with anything, you actually have to have access to the Twitter account. It's one of those things where you just have to be able to sign in and authorize if you're going to download your tweets. So like these are my tweets, obviously. I'm not really active on Twitter that much. I pretty much just tweet once a year, really, and that's for the Super Bowl. But that's a whole other thing. Then I went and I found some free software, which I was really excited about. But you can do this in Twitter for business accounts. So if you have a business account, you can do this. I just didn't want to use one of the businesses because that's their private information. So I was just using my own personal Twitter account. So I had to download this plugin. So there was this plugin, which basically was like just tweet download. It was very easy to do. I just authorized it for my Twitter account. But once again, if you have a business account and if you're authorized on that business account, then you can download your own personal Twitter stuff. All right, so I created that, and so once again, my Twitter account, I wanted to kind of see what was going on with my Twitter account, kind of like who my influences were, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize Firefox. Oh, by the way, I am online in the course chat too while I'm doing this, so if anyone pops up and has a question, it would actually be kind of funny. And so I did then have an Excel file about my tweets. So now there's a lot of things I could do with my Excel file. I'm just showing you guys what an example, because I just want to introduce this to you, because you might learn more about this in your marketing research class, and you're probably going to learn like SPSS, but I just want to show you what I do. So this is the very first thing I do when I come into a company to talk about it. So if you can see, if I wanted to take the data and separate out certain things and then put in codes if I wanted to, like, so I could take my data, I could highlight it, and I could split my cells and file accordingly. But this is what it looks like. So there's a lot of things you can kind of see that didn't come through really well. Of course, if it's a hyperlink, it's not going to come across very well. But you can see influences. I'm going to show you some things that we can look at. So then, after I had my Excel file, I then opened NVivo. Now, once again, I just want to get like a general feel. So this was a very generic thing that you can do. So the very first thing you do is you do create a new data set. Now, I want to kind of show you guys some of the options here with NVivo. You can analyze audio in addition to video. So if you had like a bunch of video files or audio files, you could also incorporate that into this program, which is pretty cool. That's why I really like NVivo. I just downloaded a free 14-day trial. There are tons on their website. There are tons of videos that I've actually used before for training. But this is what the program looks like inside the Mac. Now, once again, inside a PC, when you're on Windows, it looks a little bit differently, but this is what it looks like. So it gives you all kind of options. Now, using the Moustakis method, which I told you before, you will have to like create nodes, which nodes are basically just labels for your data. So for example, if I just want to label all of my retweets one thing, so I want to do like, do a node as like RT, and then I would color code that appropriately, and then it would save that. So then when I went under nodes, for coding, it would be there, and then I could put the data in the data set another way. But that's getting like really involved. I'm really just showing you this basic thing to do. So the first thing I did was I uploaded that Excel file. So when you're in your data, all right, you can just click on documents, and it can import, you can import documents, you can import text files, you can import PDFs if you have to, if you have a huge project. And then it's all part of this one, and this was just my personal Twitter account _. You can also import clean data sheets that have already been filtered, pictures, like all of those digital pictures I was talking about that you could do, or you can import web pages and social media. I'm actually going to try this kind of just like right here. Yeah. So yeah, I would have to actually like link to that, and like I said, I think you have to own the data. I know it'd be really cool if we could do that. If I find out how to do that in some way, that would be really awesome. But I just, like I said, this is like a basic thing. I might play with that later, so there might be a follow-up video. But I just want to show you. So I uploaded all my tweets. So like when you have the data set, I imported them, and then here they are, and you can see them. Boom, done. Now I could go through and I could highlight and I can make annotations, I could edit, I could code, I could clean up here in NVivo, which is really cool, if I wanted to. I personally, I would prefer doing that in the Excel file. I know Excel a little bit better, so it's a little easy for me. Actually, it's a lot easier for me to do that. I can split cells, I can pull things out, I could do all sorts of things that would make my data look better. So I would do that there. But once again, I'm just trying to get like a sentiment analysis, just trying to figure out like what's the overall. This is like what is my Twitter about. So if you come over here to the Analyze section, you can start coding if you wanted to. Like, so if I only wanted to do retweets, I could code that. And I already have like that node file set, so I could set that out. I can do a whole bunch of other things. I can talk about like the auto code. I could try that. I can also work on my layout and look at their different tools, and I can look at my view. But once again, this is a basic thing. I just kind of want to show you. You can also do mind maps, concept maps, all this stuff, and you can do that with all your social media files. So this is actually a lot of fun. It's a really great program to use. I personally decided just to run a word frequency. I kind of wanted to see what was going on with my word frequency, just kind of, to figure that out. I wanted to include, so like the files, I want to include the stemmed words like talking, with minimum length 3. Plus, you can actually narrow it down here. So I'm actually going to do only the top 300 words. Now, you can also, which I'll show you in just a second. So we're going to run this query. All right. Now, once again, I told you I'm a big I live tweet the Super Bowl, so I am not shocked. I am not shocked at all that the Super Bowl comes up first. I am not shocked that ad week, ad age, all of that stuff comes up because honestly, that's what I tweet most. I think I have like 80 tweets an hour during the Super Bowl. It's crazy. Now, this little character here, I'm just going to go ahead and add to my stop words list, just because I know for a fact that that's kind of an anomaly when it comes up of how it came into Twitter. So we're going to run that query again, and then it'll remove it. So if you see, I just right-clicked it, add to the stop, and then we can see like with the word count what these words would be. So we can save this, of course, this file. Like I said, Super Bowl, ad week, ad age. I don't know why love is so high up there. Obviously, I overuse that word. But once again, you can kind of see like some items here. But one thing I do like about this is we can open it in a word cloud, which is fun. So I have to rerun the query to take out that one little thing. Okay, so when it comes to the word cloud, you can also save this if you're trying to figure that out. But I can highlight it and then save that if I wanted to. Now, so, the thing is, as you can kind of see what's going on in my personal space. But this is really interesting. Here's one of my former American Marketing Association presidents. That's her Twitter handle. And you can see how when that comes up, this is another person that I retweet a lot of her stuff. You can kind of see my hashtags that I use, that I obviously needed to maybe stop using love so much. But we go back to the summary. I can actually, let's find out a little bit more. So you can kind of look and find out about that one as well. So there's 105 references. So that's really interesting too, because it does all of the ones back. So you can save the query. So for example, if you wanted to run this once a month, you can save this. You can also put that in NVivo. I'm going to kind of put this back over here. And so it's just really interesting for me personally. This is just a really interesting way to kind of explore your data. You can also go through and see the highlights of where it was written, what was pertaining to. So I mean, it's really interesting to just kind of see where some of this stuff falls. So just once again, this is just one more tool to put into your list. If you also want to do a specific text search, so for example, if I were going to go like through anything negative, or if I wanted to find out bad things about my company or me in particular, I've only used the word hate 3 times. Okay, so but that's interesting that you can do that you can pull up specific negative words. So for example, if I was a company and I personally wanted to see, okay, so I figured out who my top influencers are, and I wanted to see exactly what kind of interaction we have or how I can leverage that. I'm actually just going to type in one of my PhD colleagues here. So I'm going to run the query on that. Search for. Okay, got this. All right, now, all right, so text search. All right, so Chris Lesmer. All right, and very interesting. Okay, well, let's go back to Super Bowl. I don't know where that's, okay, so we can see like the references to the Super Bowl, but also we can create auto codes here, which is really kind of cool. I don't know why it wouldn't let me do that one thing, but anyway, so if we want to do another text search, let's see, marketing, because I know that one's going to be, that one's going to be on there. So, we want to include STEM words. So run the query. All right, there's 71. So if I wanted to make a word tree out of it, this is another thing I can do. So see like what's feeding in and what's feeding out. And so I think that's really an interesting way to look at it as well. Also my reference data. So where it kind of fits into my personal Twitter influence. So here you can see this again, and it's just really interesting. So I highly suggest you kind of just put this as like one of the things inside your toolbox. You can kind of see how it might be interesting. Like I said, this was just a real simple thing, but I just wanted to show you guys how to run queries and how you get data from it. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I hope this didn't confuse you too much. Once again, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to play with it. As you can see, I mean, I messed up like twice in this video, but I'm not reshooting it. So if you have any questions, let me know, but this is just something that you can use in your toolbox. Now, I do have to say there are other companies that do this for you. So if you are part of a large organization, like I told you before, I worked with Radian 6. I think they're amazing. I think they're absolutely fabulous. You can absolutely talk to them about how you can get this data, because they can pull this data for you as well. So I hope you guys, once again, have a great Sunday, have a great evening. Good night.